Hello, and welcome back to the Coop de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher, Tommy Lazaridis, and Owen Thompson's here, live from watching the cricket, which is quite fun as well. So yeah, we're all here. We've got a full board for the last game of the season. Unfortunately, the result did not go the way we wanted, and quite a nightmare afternoon all round. But we will break it all down. We'll get into that and what it means for next season. And we'll be covering all of that and much more after this. Yes, welcome back to Coop de Villa live for the last game of the season. It was disappointing defeat 2-0 to Manchester United. But it does mean we are in the Europa League next season, not the Champions League. But it was not what we all wanted last week. But I guess after sort of sleeping it off, I'm feeling a little bit better about it. But look, it was, like Mohammed Adam is saying here, it was a great season. It was almost fantastic. But Tommy, we haven't had you on for a while, so I'm going to go to you first. How are you feeling, going into the match? And then, of course, like Manchester United just came out, straight away, put us under a lot of pressure. And, I didn't really think we ever responded.
Well, funny story, Scott. It's about to get pretty kinky, but gave my lovely girlfriend Dom 3 of the best rounds of sex today. Little did she know, 2 of which weren't love.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of aggression.
There's a bit of anger going on there, right? Okay, well, that's a great way to start. It's always good to have you back, Tommy. Thanks for
frustrated is an understatement. I woke up my whole family and threw the remote at the wall.
Was that during the sex?
No. That was sorry. Right. That was during the game.
Right. Okay.
This is a great part. Maybe my last, but I threw the remote at the wall when I saw the decision disallowed. Like, let's just skip straight to it because I can spend a whole fucking 30 minutes on that.
Yes, that is the big controversial moment. Obviously,
well, that's all it is.
Go down to 10 men.
That's how I feel. Frustrated.
We scored the goal by Morgan Rogers, but it was ruled out because the referee blew the whistle before the ball went into the net. I can't quite describe it. I've never seen anything like it. And of course, it just seems to happen all the time to us, especially against Man United. I think back to the Vidic should have been sent off in the League Cup final, this sort of thing, and we just seem to get the rough end of the stick in these big games.
I mean, from my slightly impaired vision due to the amount I put away yesterday trying to settle the nerves, it was, I mean, you couldn't really see it in real time, but the fact that all of them went mental about it, I think there was a few bookings dished out as well, says all you need to know, really. Obviously, watching back, it was a bit of a horror decision, really. But I think the Palace one the other year where they blew the whistle so VAR couldn't intervene with it all, and that's what's done us, really.
Yes, it was. I mean, I guess it's the VAR would have worked. It would have been overturned. It would have been a goal, but it just brings into question this guy who was a ref. I don't think he's a very experienced ref, and to put him on this game, which means possibly like 100 million for the club, a place in the Champions League, and for him to get such a big decision so wrong, I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? And that's the one thing that will keep frustrating me. Like how different this game would have been 1-0 up. We probably shut up shop and we take
That's right.
the 1-0.
That's
like
right.
people say, "Oh, we
Negative
still would have lost
football
2-1." Well, that's not how it works. That's not how football works. Like this was such a big
No.
moment in the game. And don't get me wrong, we played
that killed
horrifically.
us.
We played absolutely horrifically. I'm not going to say like we deserved, like we probably didn't deserve anything from the game, but the fact that we had a sniff, it was 0-0. You know, I think Newcastle were 1-0 down at the time. Like it was all going our way. We finally scored a goal somehow. We didn't look like scoring all day. And yeah, fuck, it's just a big kick in the guts, isn't it? It's worse than a kick in the guts. Like this it's robbery.
And what made it worse, Tommy, is at that moment before the goal, we were going through. We were fifth, right? You know, Everton had just scored at St James's Park, which meant a draw 0-0 would have been fine, right? And then we go 1-0 up, and you're thinking,
would have been plenty.
Well, yeah, you know, we can hold on here. You know, we can, you know, even 1-1, you know, we go through. So, I mean, it's a real tough one, especially.
That's the worst thing that Everton beat Newcastle. That's the worst part.
It is. I mean, we all spoke last week, Noah, about the fact that we could win against United and still not go through, and that would hurt. But this hurts even more.
I agree.
Big time, because I don't know. It's just the unknown factor, isn't it, Scott? It's the what ifs, and that's kind of what our season's been about. You know, what if we held on against City for a point? What if we beat Ipswich twice and we should have beaten them? It's a season of what ifs or what could have been, and this moment's going to sting for a while because it's ultimately could have cost us £100 million and maybe 2 players at the end of the day.
It could, and Owen, I think the big question I'm asking myself is we keep putting ourselves in these good positions and we're not turning up on the day. We did it against Crystal Palace. We did it against Olympiacos last year. You know, we did it against, I remember last year, Sheffield United. We could have gone top of the league. And we, you know, these sort of games where even Man City a bit earlier on, when we're on this good run and we really had to beat City or get a point and we kind of just bottle it in the last minute. It just seems that there is something in the mentality or the sort of the pressure that we seem to crumble and not play the football we all know we can play, and we very often do play in those huge games when everything's on the line.
I think it's one of them where if you'd have given us what we finished with at the start of the season, beforehand you go, oh, yeah, that's a decent cup run. We've stayed in Europe, we've had a cup run in the Champions League, but given what we could have had, you get past Palace in the semi-final and there's every chance you beat City in the final, and that's a cup in the bag. Again, the fact that we've kind of our own wrongdoing has cost us fifth with a really interesting decision as well. Obviously does leave a sour taste in people's mouths, and I think that's where the frustration comes from. Like you said, there was games down the line we could have won, we could have picked up extra points. One that always sticks out to me was Forest away, when we kind of just let it slip right at the end when we were winning. Obviously the 2 Ipswich games as well, but
Bournemouth draw, last minute. Yeah, that was the killer.
But yeah, the general consensus is we haven't turned up in the important games this season. I know there's games where we have turned up when it's mattered, like Celtic, for example, but ultimately we've not turned up when it matters, and that's the frustration.
Yeah, we've played well when we sort of almost don't have anything to lose. You know, like after the Palace defeat in the league, we basically knew we're going to have to win pretty much every game to get us into that top 5. And we almost did that, Noah. Like we went on a huge run. We won 9 out of 11. And we just needed a point, Tommy, in this last game. But even the PSG game, right, where we got knocked down the second leg. We go 2-0 down, and then we start playing, right? And then we get it to 3-2, and we're only a goal away. And then again, we can't do it. We can't do it. So, like, who's to blame? Who are you most frustrated with, Tommy?
You know what? You know who's been the biggest disappointment this year? I'm not gonna lie, fucking Unai Emery. Like, just subs, lineups, like not going with a winning lineup. You know, like. I don't know. Just I feel like it just hasn't been as it normally is. Like leaving subs a bit too late, too stubborn to make subs. It's not the Emery we know. He was a tactical magician, right? And right after one year, you can get somewhat exposed, but just his whole playbook is just out in the open all of a sudden. Like Man United look like fucking prime Barca against us. Yeah, and to be honest, I'd probably say we missed Mings that game more than anyone.
I wouldn't go as far to say he's the number one, but I understand what you're saying. It hasn't been his best year.
Cash is always a liability more than a positive. Everyone's like, he's underrated. He had a couple good games. He hit a purple patch. At the end of the day, he's always our weak link. Maatsen, great left back, great at going forward. Left backs need to defend, and he's too freaking small. We've been saying that from day one. Rapid, great at going forward. At the end of the day, you're a left back. You need to at least get a header to the ball. Just the way he was exposed for the goal, is a real weakness.
Both goals were sort of.
I feel like Torres has really dropped off this year. Concer's. Like, he gets a free pass. He's always a Rolls Royce. But, I don't know. I feel like Marlon should have come on earlier with the Ramsey Tillemans. Like, if Tillemans was fit to come off the bench, I don't care. Pull your hamstring. You've got, 3-4 months off after the end of the season. Start the bloody bloke. He's been our player of the season, and he's on the bench. I know they said he was injured, but, when he came on, he looked all right. I'd rather start him and then see how long we can get out of him than – I feel like we actually missed someone that can dictate the midfield. Yeah, we've got ball winners, but we had no one to create, to pass it forward. I think Ollie had about 4 touches, if that.
Yeah, and they weren't good touches. Like
Asensio, anonymous. He started like a house on fire. And to be honest, even at 15 mil, do we sign him? Has he been offering much, towards the tail end of the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, you brought up a lot of questions.
Sorry, mate. I'm just an open fan, mate.
That's good.
Emi Martinez is all but gone. Was there a bit of money under the table for United? Go out with a bang.
He's not going to United.
If so, please sign Chevalier over that Joao guy. Chevalier is the better signing, 100%. The little keeper.
Well, we can talk about the red card because it was. How would you divvy up the sort of blame there, Owen, between Cash and Martinez? Because obviously Cash has given him an awful back pass, but I don't think Emmy needs to do that at all. And, I was absolutely shocked to hear that that's his first red card in his career, because you just think surely he's done some crazy stuff before and got himself booked for time wasting and a red card. But no, if that's going to be his last game for us, then it's quite a way to go out.
Oh yeah, I missed the red card because I was at the bar, and the bloke stopped serving everyone. Like, oh, and by the way, he was like, your goalkeeper's just been sent off, and we thought he was on the wind up. Obviously, that's not quite to be. Yeah, it is frustrating, but I understand Tommy's point about I think the stubbornness was the one that's annoyed me with Emery, especially with a certain. Oh, sorry, there's a change of bowling. A certain Morgan Rogers has been kind of
anonymous,
under par the past few weeks compared to what we know he's like. I think his stubbornness to take him off has maybe not cost us, but it was very clear. Sorry, Chris Wokes has just walked over. I might have a chat with him in a minute.
see how he's feeling about it.
I might have to ask him about the decision. Do you want to come on the pod quickly, mate?
He's a Villa fan, so yeah.
He is.
So where are you? Tell everyone where you are, Owen.
So I'll turn the camera around so you can all see Chris Wokes. I am at Worcester watching Warwickshire play against Worcester, and the tickets were free on the day, and I've got sponsorship through work there. So me and my conveniently Man United friend have come up for the day.
Oh no!
So,
Has he been rubbing it in?
I was giving him some grief the other day about the cup final, so he gave me a bit back, but he did say he was like, he wanted Villa to get top 5, so
right.
That was where he was like, I do understand your sympathy, and he was like, I understand that it was obviously a horrible decision, but that's football.
It is typical United that they absolutely stink the house out, and then against us, they all of a sudden look like, the early 2000s United, and they start peppering the goal. From the. I was just like, what am I watching here? It's like a fever dream. Like, I'm like, these guys are rubbish. It's like Harry Maguire and Hoyland and these guys that have stunk the house out are all of a sudden like just cutting through as like a knife through butter.
And they shoot.
We play any other team, and you kind of go, do you know what? But because it was Man United, you think, we just never turn up there. So
yeah, never. It's
so sad, isn't it? Yeah, it's just such a sad
two wins in 39. So
and apparently it's only 4 in like the whole time we've been in the Premier League or something.
Them and Palace have always been our bogey team. United are the OG.
Shit. I remember back in the Makeda. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the last minute winner. Yes.
Yeah, and there's so many like that where they've, I think last year as well.
2-0 up there last year, Boxing Day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I count myself.
And that's and that was that famous photo of Mainu, Hoyland, and Garnacho sitting on the advertising board. And now Garnacho looks like he's off. Hoyland couldn't get a root in a brothel, right? And Mainu is just constantly injured and doesn't seem to be like he used to. So, but they turn back up when they play against us, of course, So it's it was tough, but we didn't deserve to win. We weren't very good, and that's on the players and Unai and I guess we just got to look forward to the Europa League now. Is that where we're?
He's the Europa League master. He is the Europa League master, and I've been coughing a bit of shit all day about it. But if there's one man who's going to win the Europa League, as long as we don't play Crystal Palace, it's Unai Emery.
Oh, mate.
So,
he's won it 4 times.
Hey.
So
yeah,
I mean, it would be a perfect opportunity to break our trophy hoodoo. Do you think we can do it, Tommy?
Well, we've got the coach for it, so
the real question is who we got to sell. I know
that's right. Well, I actually think Ollie's gone.
You think Ollie's gone? Well, I mean, if Martinez is gone and Ollie's gone, I mean, we're going to have to replace them. Maybe Marlon will start playing more often. I don't really know what this team's going to look like. I mean, I guess if I wanted to keep someone, I would say we got to keep Tielemans, we got to keep Kamara and Rodgers. I mean, if we had to sell any of our sort of,
I'm worried about Kamara now.
Kamara's the one I'm about.
Yeah, I'm worried about Kamara big time.
He hasn't been very
that contract
good for a
is
while,
really.
though.
He hasn't been really good.
No, the last few games he's kind of really dropped off. Maybe that contract situation is kind of, I don't know, in his head a bit, but he certainly hasn't been.
It's in advanced talks, but he's crucial to what we do.
Well, now it's a worry because we didn't qualify for champs.
But surely we have enough dead wood to sell that we can just get enough.
Who? Well, I mean, what?
Buendia, Kessel Hayden, Bailey,
Ramsey go pure
Ramsey. Like, I think surely those guys we have to sell any of our elite, but I don't know. I'm not on the inside, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ramsey would be disappointing to lose, but I would rather lose
100%
him.
profit.
Yeah, I'd rather lose him than an Ollie or an Emmy or a Kamara. That's for sure.
I think Emmy's done. I think if Emmy gets, if we get Saudi money for Emmy, see you later.
He wants to stay in Europe, so. Yeah,
I mean, where could he go? Like, I mean, there is talk Man United, Barcelona, I've heard, but
just Villa. I think he's so important to us. He really is, and like I know contracts mean bugger all, obviously after we sold Duran, but to just re-sign and say what you say, like you want to win a trophy and stuff, and it's just. It's not a nice time of year now. Like this kind of reminds me of the season we didn't get promoted, and it's like, would we have a club? Like tax bills aren't being paid and stuff. It's that kind of flattening, if you get me. Like I know it's not as bad as that. It's just like all this sort of shit's happening, and it's just so timely, if you get me.
Well, I just can't believe that we've sold Diaby, we've sold Duran, we've sold Kellyman, Louise. Eric Bunham as well. All these players, and we still can't pass PSR even with the Champions League money that we got from going all the way to the quarterfinals, I mean, I'm guessing the Unai Emery and Monchi and Chris Heck sort of know what they're doing, and they can, and they wouldn't have just like gambled our whole future on Champions League. But
Tony Gia, where are you?
They're cutting the 4G.
We gamble.
I know, but it is a bit of a gamble because they
wouldn't have gambled. They would have known. Like, unfortunately, the PSR rules that help the Big Six, and we all know it now. You know, like it's kind of like when
qualifying for Champions League, like that's going to kill us now.
I know, but it's one of those. It's such a weird.
Could be worse. Could be Forest
situation, isn't it? It's such a weird situation that we're in, and I know that we obviously now have to wait and roll our sleeves up and go again. But I know we're probably going to do an end of season review. But looking back on the season, like
it's been a bad year.
No, I think it's been a great year.
Nah, I feel like we should have won so many more games.
We should have won so many more games. I feel like we should have. Like, this is a season we've left a trophy out there. I completely agree.
But I also think like the plan was at the start of the season, consistency in qualify for Europe again and go deep in the Champions League, and we did.
It was a bigger schedule. You're right, Scott.
And if you had said quarterfinals of the Champions League, I think we all would have taken that. If you had said, deep in the FA Cup, obviously you want to win it, but I guess, we're sort of taking baby steps, and this year might have been a slight step backwards. It's obviously not as good as last year. Last year we finished in the top 4. This year we've been inconsistent in the league. It's true. But
we were inconsistent last year, Scott, because I think we've only got one less point or something than we did all of last season.
Yeah, but because we were up to the top of the league at the start of the year last year,
we were chasing. I know we were chasing this year, where we were defending our spot last year, and I know it's different, but I still think you look at this season. I know it's a bit sour now, and it's a bit sour and whatnot, but I still think we had a good year. Like, we can't.
I think you still.
Yeah.
I think we're never going to keep going on an upward journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a good point from Dickie. I mean, now we have 2 ways to get into the Champions League for the following year. Like if we won the Europa League and won, like, that would be better than winning an FA Cup.
Yeah.
Just for the Champions League part in itself, but to win a trophy, I mean, look at the scenes from Spurs, and Newcastle and Palace and these clubs that haven't won a cup for a long time. It was, Bologna in Italy. These, I can feel that this is coming, and this is Unai's tournament. And
it is. I agree.
Do you have that graphic of all the teams that I sent to the chat?
I don't have it. I don't have it on the streaming thing, but we can still talk about it.
I've got it here up on.
Is this the Europa League one?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, the sort of teams that we're going to be up against: Roma, Porto, Rangers, Feyenoord, Lille, Real Betis, Fenerbahce,
Salzburg as well,
Crystal Palace. We're a bit of a bogey for us, but
Bologna.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really scared of any of them. I mean, I think, Roma or Porto.
I'm excited though, Scott. I'm so excited. Like, how crazy is it though? Like, we've played in every single European competition.
We played PSG, who could potentially win the whole thing, and we probably gave them the biggest run for their money.
We did. We only team to beat them.
Yeah,
we only team to beat them. Like, it's crazy. But bring it on. Bring it on next season. I think. I just wish we'd won the game. Like, if we'd won the game, we hadn't got Champions League. It's a bit different. Like, we did all we could. We had a crack.
That's right.
This game will always be on a sour note because of the decision. But I look back on the season and go, this whole season was what ifs. Like, we should have beat United at home. We drew them. We drew at United at their worst. It was 0-0. Like, it's just like one of those things. Like, how the hell we not beat them when they're at their worst at home? And for some reason, we can never beat them away. It's one of those things.
And this is another good point from Duncan. It's the only major honour we've never won.
Yeah.
I don't think we won the old Cup Winners' Cup. No, we didn't win that. But I guess we haven't won the Conference League. But yeah, out of the sort of old school big trophies, and we've had some good times in the UEFA Cup back in the 90s. We beat Inter Milan, beat Atletico Madrid in classic sort of ties that have gone down with sort of in the folklore of fans that were around back then. I mean, that win against Inter Milan, they had Bergkamp and, they were a proper side, back then. And hopefully we give ourselves some more memories like that and we can go deep and
100%. 100%.
And I just saw something on Transfer News Live. Don't know how credible they go. Villa in talks with the representatives of Lucas Chevalier. So I think that almost spells Martinez's exit.
But Emery said at the end of the thing, like, it's not his last game of Villa shirt. I know it's probably just what we want to hear.
He did say that, yeah. But what else can he say? I mean, it does look like he's gone.
It does. And as sad as it is and whatnot, it's part of football now. Yeah, I think John McGinn said it perfectly in his interview with Aston Villa. He goes, players will come and go, but the fans are the one that are here week in, week out. And unfortunately, it's just a part of football now. Like, players do come and go. I mean, Robin Olsen's gone. How sad's that? He's already signed for Malmo.
But I'm not shedding the same sort of tear. I got to say.
You never know. He was the whipping boy for a while, so we've got to find a new whipping boy now. So
exactly, but we need some goalkeepers. Is what we need. Like, obviously,
we have got Joe Gauci. People forgetting that. Been on loan at Barnsley.
Yeah, as a backup, mate.
Number one, mate. He's our number one. I'm backing him in.
I would highly doubt that, but Joe, if you're listening, I know you're a friend of the show. It would be great to see you. I don't know, at least be number two. That'd be good. But look, so it was a real disappointing day. I mean, I guess. Well done.
We haven't even touched on the second goal, by the way, or even their first one. We haven't touched on any of the goals, have we?
No, I mean the goals from them. There was Maatsen sort of sleeping a bit at the back post for the header. The second one, it was a rash challenge. You didn't really need to go in like that. Yeah. It was going nowhere, and we I don't know why Digne didn't start. It was a weird one for me.
I think he's off. I think Digne might be off. Wages or age.
He's the highest earner. If we were going to lose one, it'd be Digne.
He's another one that'll be off.
I was thinking that.
I think it'll be Digne, Cash. I think Emmy's gone. I actually think Watkins could go too, and then my boy Jonathan David comes in. My prediction.
Well, he's a free agent, so
I would love it to be Jonathan David. But again, Tottenham are interested in him. They've got Champions League and we don't.
That's the problem now.
It is. It's going to be harder to attract that sort of talent, but I mean, Unai has his guys. I mean, he did it with Morgan Rogers. He did it with he got Asensio, to come. He got he got Pau Torres. He got he can get gems. I mean, Garcia, we might see a bit more of. Hopefully, after a full preseason.
We didn't start him more. He looks so promising. Good defensively.
Looks like a good player.
Yeah, it's surprising because. I mean, we know Cash is he gives 100%, and he's
got to go.
He's a warrior, but he's not good enough on the ball at times. And
he just cuts back. He just cuts back and passes back. He hasn't really got a trick in his bag. I mean, one team I give credit to, mate. Liverpool are making some big statement signings right now. Bloody hell, they're a dynasty team right now.
Yeah, it certainly is, and. Well, yeah. So anything else you want to talk about? It's a bit of a downer episode to finish the year, unfortunately.
Well, that's why I want to do a good review podcast, like when we can talk about
just thank our great fans for sticking by us this
100%.
year. And also, we know what the regulars are and a few new contributors as well.
I know you guys have been awesome, and thanks.
There's so many regulars in it that we see every week. Like even meeting a couple like this season. Went over to England and I met a couple of fans. That was pretty cool. Scotty UK, the GOAT, he's in here. But,
he is. Bacon and eggs, mate.
And
absolute bacon.
Yeah, so I guess we'll come back with another episode in a week or two. We'll let all the dust settle and see, what happens, in the Champions League final and things like that. And we'll,
who we going for? Who we going for?
I'd like to see Inter win. I think.
Yeah.
Just because PSG have never won one and we have. We don't want all these other clubs catching us.
I'm going for PSG just because of Enrique's comments about Villa, and actually I do think he's a great coach, and there's no like Mbappe stardom there now. I actually feel that it's a genuinely well balanced team with a great coach, so I'd like to see him.
Yeah, I think they will win. Actually, I think PSG will win, but I think that'll be a good game, and looking forward to it. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll all have to just look forward to the preseason tour of America. That's the next time we're going to see.
Why they're not coming back to Oz? That's their third trip to America in a row. Like, come on, Villa, come back to Oz. Pig and whistle in Brisbane. Troy would love it. Troy would have loved it again. Come on.
He would have. There was they were the days. What great memories. But
Stevie G in charge. How good were those days?
Oh God, yeah. Apart from that bit, but that was a good little trip. I was telling people about that the other day, and the game in Perth, the game in Brisbane, the game in Townsville, all fantastic atmospheres, and I know that everyone who sort of followed the team loved it. So.
Yeah, it was unreal.
It would be great to have him back down under, but
I tell you what, we do need to get a Coop de Villa England trip happening there.
I've got AC Milan against Perth Glory coming up. I think I might go and watch that one. Maybe
that'll be a great one.
Fair enough. I will not go watch that.
Mate, we've got the A-League final this Saturday. Melbourne victory, Melbourne City.
How good's that?
Mate, Auckland, absolute bunch of chokers. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we got the best league in the world here, the A-League. Hyundai A-League, get around it. Yeah. I know. John McGinn is a Melbourne City fan because his old friend Jamie McLaren played for Melbourne City.
Jimmy McLaren.
Yeah, Jamie McLaren.
He's a Villa fan.
He's a Villa fan. We should recruit him as a backup striker, but yeah,
probably a bit late. Yeah. Probably, all right, guys. Well, thanks again for all your support this season. Please like and subscribe, and tell your friends about the pod. We got plenty more coming up, over the summer, and until then, up the Villa, and we'll see you next time.
Up the Villa.